supply chain processes, and enabling process automation services. He has worked at global corporations like IBM, Capgemini, KPMG, amongst others. He has utilized his professional experience to create Amplo Global Incorporation, an artificial intelligence established Industry 4.0 led risk management proud company. The product AmpliFly 4.0 enables organizations to measure, assess, and define industry execution readiness in 3 to 5 years. He studied engineering at Birla Institute of Technology and Sciences and has an MBA from the Fuqua School of Business at Duke University, where he specializes in strategy and marketing. He lives in the US. He started his first application-based educational non-profit organization, sureindia.org, that nurtures and promotes young talents in vocal and instrument-based music. He has been instrumental in driving strategy and operations for organizations like Apne Aap, Home of Hope, Kolkata Foundation, etc. He is a stargazer, blogger, and wants to create a positive impact on society. We welcome Mr. Anirban Bhattacharya amongst us for his talk. A very good morning, Mr. Bhattacharya.
Thank you so much. Very warm welcome. So, so I will get started if that's okay.
Yes, sir. You can start. Yes, sir. You can start.
So, my first, maybe I'll start with a question. So, if you can answer. So, like all the students are in the first year, or it's a mix of all the years. Can you please give me a profiling of the students?
They're basically the first year students. They have just started their classes in the last 1 week or so. So basically all of.
Okay, that's very nice. So, and mostly like the engineering undergrads, like computer science, electrical. Is it a fair assumption? Like mechanical, or there any stuff?
From the computer science background, they have enrolled for the BCA course, that is Bachelor of Computer Applications. So the whole batch is of computer applications.
Computer applications. Okay, very intriguing. So thank you everyone for listening in today. I will speak both in English and Bengali. So if that's okay, and I will share some of my experiences. I have started very much my journey where you all have started, and no difference. So I will talk about a few things, three things today. The first topic will be, I will talk about fear of failure. The second topic I will talk about, imagination is more powerful than knowledge. And the third topic I will talk about, not to give up. So, and I will give examples when I talk through these. So, so you, of course, I'm sure you know the difference between the success and failure. It is very important. It is very, very important that to fail. It is very important to fail. And fail means not in like, I'm not saying to fail in a class as such. Don't fail that way, but important to have an early failure in life. That's very important. I'll give two examples of my own life. So, and of course, it's a true story when I'm sharing this. And don't judge me when I share this, because I'm sure you will feel at heart when I share these stories of my failure. The first story is I was a student in St. Lawrence High School in Calcutta. So in so you will know about me and you can gauge my age too if I say all this, of course. But so in 1997, I had my high school +2 grade +12. So I sat for all the entrances, and I was a good student. And though I did not like to study, but I did a good job in 11th and 12th grade to understand And I had a very good sense of physics and maths. Somewhat was okay in chemistry and statistics. I did not choose biology at that time. I'm sure some courses have changed now in the grades in 11th and 12th grade, or it may not have changed, but I'm sure the style of the entrances have changed. So at my time, I sat in all the entrances, for IIT, Roorkee, ISI, Bengal Joint, everything. And at that time, I was confident. My father was very confident that I will not leave Calcutta, and I was doing well, and I thought I did well. So when the day came, all the entrances, the results of the entrances are coming out. So all the results used to come out in either there are various locations, as you know, the results come out, right, for all the entrances. So the first one that came out was IIT. So I scored at the end, like at the end. I did not get any good branch. I knew I will not get any good branch. I was very upset. And but my dad said, okay, you at least are getting a 5 years integrated course, so why don't you at least feel that way? But that was not me. I mean, I wanted to score better. Then my dad said, you don't have to worry about this, because you have got into somewhere, you have got a rank in IIT, so you will definitely get Bengal Joint. There's no brainer. So you will go to either Jadavpur or Shivpur, and or maybe REC Durgapur, and you just stay at home and be my son, right? Stay at home. We used to live in Toliganj at that time. And just from Toliganj, Jadavpur is nothing, right? You will take a ride in Anuvasha and you'll go to the school, go to the college. And then I was very excited. Okay, that's my dad is right. So I did not go for the counseling for IIT because I was not getting anything in IIT. Then Roorkee came. So I got in Roorkee, but I did not get I got waiting list in Roorkee. Nothing. So there has to be a counseling, and finally I got Polymer, which was in second list. Was very upset. Then came the time of Bengal Joint, and I did not have any rank, no rank at all in Bengal Joint. And I could not, just could not see myself in the mirror. And I had a high fever that night. And it was a mixed bag feeling for the family, and all my cousins and all my aunts and uncles are calling me, and I could not even speak to anyone, and I was crying like a baby. And all my friends in St. Lawrence, all my classmates in St. Lawrence either had got engineering or medical or ISI by then, and I did not get into ISI. So so then I'm thinking that night, I was completely in trance. And what happened? So yeah, either I should not live anymore, right? It's such a disaster. And what will happen to my life, right? So in a couple of days, I got a call from one of my professors in St. Lawrence and said, you should actually see what happened, right? You should actually call somebody. Here is the number. He sits in Shivpur Engineering College. He's one of the joint entrance professor that checks the papers. You should actually go and talk to him, right? You'll just say TKC, at that time a very famous teacher, and Kaushik Roy in St. Lawrence, very famous teacher. So said that Kaushik Roy and TKC have sent me. Just talk to him in Shivpur. So me and my dad went. Me and my mom actually went. I did not want to go. And we are sitting in the lobby in Shivpur, and the professor comes out and says, in Bengali, he says, Tirthankar Babu has said about Anirban, his math is 0. He's absent in math. Physics, he has a good score, and chemistry, he has a good score. He has a decent score to score around 200 and above 200 rank in Bengal joint. So me, my mom are looking at each other, and my mom took me to the joint entrance. My seat was in Podapukur High School, and my mom was looking at me that how could you be absent in a math exam, and it was a high score exam, right? It's a 200 in math and 100 in physics and 100 in chemistry. So we were like completely perturbed, right? That what happened. So then now I'm laughing. I'm actually getting goosebumps when I say the story. So he said, you guys go home. Amra dekbo ki hoyeche. তীর্থঙ্কর বাবু পাঠিয়েছেন, বাংলায় বললেন আমাকে, তো আমরা দেখবো কি হয়েছে। তো দুদিন বাদে my dad had those dial phones, right? Like not the like a receiver with the line, dial phone at home, right? It rang, and the professor called. My mom picked up and said, the professor said on the other side that হ্যাঁ আপনার ছেলে তো পেপারই সাবমিট করেনি, অ্যাবসেন্ট দেখাচ্ছে ম্যাথে। তো we were absolutely devastated, and I remember very well যে আমি পেপার সাবমিট করেছিলাম, রাইট? অঙ্ক পরীক্ষা আমার খুব ভালো হয়েছিল। তো এবার nobody could understand at home, right? So কি হয়েছে? So finally, long story short, not to bore you much on this, আমি প্রথম পেপারটা এত নার্ভাস ছিলাম because I had to crack Bengal joint and I was very cool at IIT and others. I completely messed up. আমি নামই লিখিনি, আমি প্রথমেই অঙ্ক করতে শুরু করে দিয়েছি, আর ইনভিজিলেটরও couldn't tell me anything about it when I gave the paper back to him after the exam. So উনি পেপারটা নিয়ে নিলেন জাস্ট আমার থেকে, right? So after that my life did not stop, but that early shock that I got, where that was my identity, I only learned that when life is at the cliff, it is best to jump. And once you jump, you automatically will get a fresh breath of air where you will start flying. So very next week, I got a call from BITS, and I basically got electrical engineering. It's also a good school, kind of comparative to Jadavpur and others. Many other schools now, like IEM and Kolani universities and others, right? Many good schools are now in Calcutta. So when I started engineering, and when I started my engineering, I was very much at shock because everybody in the class was very good, right? And I was still in the trauma of leaving home and couldn't go to Jadavpur what my dad wanted. And it was a shock to me. It was literally a shock to me, right? I could not do very good in the first year. And then second year, I caught up. And when I started catching up, I actually fell in love. I fell in love in the second year of my undergrad. And then I thought, okay, now I have engineering school. I should forget this failure. Then I don't have to look back anything. Right now, I should have a job offer in fourth year. Generally in BITS, when you get to BITS, you will get a job offer, right? That's what my dad said. But my dad said that I can't pay this. You have to repay this loan after you get the job. I said, okay, Dad, I will pay the loan off. You just give me the money. And my mom and we are very average family, right? My mom sold some of her ornaments for the first semester, and the second semester, my dad got a loan from the bank. He was in bank in United Bank of India. He actually played in Mohun Bagan. My dad actually played in Mohun Bagan. So he got some loan. So he left soccer and then he joined bank at a later stage of his life. So, and he got a loan. He was in bank. Never went up too much high in the ladder, but very short guy, my dad. And never took a promotion because he had to leave Calcutta. So he did not take a promotion. And he always was touching soccer. He used to coach soccer in Moidan, and very prominent guy in soccer. We still get we still get, hold on, I'm guessing they're getting some chats here. Okay. Let me know if I have to pick up some questions, okay? So just let me know. Um, I was, I when I went to school, I thought I've gained it all, right? I was, though I was nervous in the first year. The second year, I started it all, right? I did not study at all. I sing and I play. So I was in the music club. As I said, I fell in love, and I thought that that is it. And in fourth year, I got a job. I got a job in a company called KPMG from campus. So in fourth year means in the seventh semester, and I thought I was all set, right? I'm going to. I have my elder sister, who is 3 years older than I am, and my dad thought that his son will get married before his daughter, and that's a disaster, and that too with a South Indian lady. Okay, so my dad stopped talking with me from third year of school. 2000, he stopped talking with me. So that failure I forgot, right? And then I stood up and said, okay, now it's a good life. I got a job. I have something to look forward. I'm in love, right? So I started my job. I had fantastic, like I had an opportunity to get into MBA or others, right? Other schools too, like IIM or others. I did not sit because I thought that I have to get married. That's all I thought, right? And my first love, right? My first love, her name, I still remember her, of course. Her name is Priya. So Priya joined Glaxo in Ahmedabad, and I joined KPMG in Delhi. And June 1st, 2001, I still remember that day I joined. And on June 11th, I get a call from her hall in Glaxo, and it's a complete different voice. That's not, I could feel that I'm not Priya. It's actually her mom calling me and saying that you better not come close to my daughter. I will bring police to your dorm in KPMG. My daughter is getting married, and they are Iyengars, okay, very tight South Indians. And she hung up, and then the next few days were another saga for me to come out of that, right? And I was almost losing the job because I was not doing anything, because I thought that my life has ended, and I just am a terrible condition. My dad is not talking to me. My mom is managing the situation. Priya is getting married. Then Priya called me after a couple of days. I said, why didn't you tell me? We just had lunch a couple of days back. Then she said, no, she's saying this to me after 4 years, that nothing will happen to you. I mean, anyhow, you haven't started. You played and sung, and you did not do anything in college. You got a job barely, and you basically like you have good for nothing, right? Then I asked her, why are you saying this? What happened? Then she said to me that I'm going to the US. I said, wow, okay. So that second shock that I got, I thought that's the biggest problem somebody can have in his or her life, right? That somebody you dreamt of, you fell in love, she's saying that she's getting married, and the world ends there, right? Literally. So I did not eat for a few days. I could not move. I did not go to work. I was almost on the verge of losing a job. Then I got a call from KPMG and said that, Anirban, you have to come to work, otherwise we'll lay you off. I said, okay, I will come to work. And I went to work, and the first question I said to my boss that her name she, I don't know if she's in KPMG now or not, but I asked her and said, I want to go to the US, a blanket statement. And she said, you just joined. How can you say that, right? And I said, no, I want to go to the US. Then she said, okay, if you're so stubborn, then you need to do a good job in this project. You have to basically take this Excel spreadsheet and analyze a forecast for us, a forecast. They give like a demand forecast. I was in supply chain, and I did the work. And in 3 months, they sent me to California, and then another life started, right? And but these two incidents has really taught me a very big lesson. The lesson that it told me that um, like nothing stops about if nothing stops about if you're getting into a Bengal joint, or you're getting, if your girlfriend is dropping you like a hot potato, or your boyfriend is dropping like a hot potato. It doesn't matter. What it matters is you learn these lessons and you fail early, and you know yourself very well. So half of the job will be done, of course, if you know yourself very well. So I did that. That's a lesson learned for me, that um, going forward, I cannot take life so easy or granted, right? Um, so the fear of failure that created in my head, failure of what? That nobody's stopping and choking my throat, right? But I was expecting a good outcome and I was attached to it, right? But once I started in my life expecting a good outcome and not attached to it, things started working towards me. So it is very important that you create a promotion within your head instead of a prevention, right? Instead of that fear, you create a promotion. Set your goals 200%. Distinguish between what is a real threat and what is an imaginary threat. So Priya was an imaginary threat to me. That Bengal joint, not scoring in Bengal joint and losing my prestige in front of my cousins and friends, was an imaginary threat to me. It was never a real threat. And if success is hard to get, failure is even more harder to fetch. So just fail sometimes in life, and make sure that you fail so bad that um, there is no point of decline after that. It is only going up. So my coming to the US is nothing because of my caliber. It's because of Priya. Because I just said to my boss that, boss, I want to go to US. Somebody ditched me and said that I cannot go to US. And that's how the history started of come for me to travel to US. Because I'm a very passionate Indian origin. I have a lot of actions going on in non-profit in India. If you want to work with me, let me know. In child in empowerment, education, anti-sex trafficking. I do a lot of work in these areas and in various places. India, Nepal border, Bangladesh, West Bengal border, Sri Lanka. And if you're interested, follow me on Instagram, follow me on LinkedIn. So I will give you all the information to Sujata and she can distribute that. So these are important what I'm talking about, right? I will repeat. That distinguish between real and imaginary threat, create a promotion than a prevention. And when you expect a good outcome, don't get attached to it. Don't get attached to it. That's very important. I was attached to Priya, I was attached to Bengal joint, and I was in a shock. Don't get me wrong, after Priya, I've messed up my life also in the US multiple times, professionally, relationally. I have failed, I've stood up, but I never thought to not to stand up, right? That's something that, because I had that in my head where I knew that I'm looking for an outcome, but I'm not attached to it. So that is extremely, extremely critical. So the next topic I have is, hopefully I'm making some sense. And if this is getting recorded, I would love you to, I want to hear this by own. Maybe Sujata, if you can send this recording to me, I would be humbled. I can improve my next storytelling next time. And I could see that my screen is flickering. I don't know why. I'm so sorry about that. My video is not coming great. Uh, it's actually there's a storm tonight in New York. It's raining heavily out here, so maybe that's the bandwidth is having an issue out here, just like India, right? Nothing different here. So the second thing that I will talk about is imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Very important, right? So you read, you gain knowledge. Your left brain started working or starts working. But it is very important that you actually imagine more than you read. You stretch your right brain and make sure you be more creative than what you are. And experiments are extremely crucial. Extremely crucial experiential education. And you will go through a lot of experiential education. You will be in your a lot of, like, you'll do MATLAB. I think you will do some computer programming. I forgot the coursework I had. I used to like code in a big computer in bits. And then at that time, Hotmail came out. Hotmail was the first invention by Sabir Bhatia, one of our alumnus. And Hotmail was coming out. I was all excited in the lab. I used to do a lot of coding at that time. But I never left that imagination, the working the right side of the brain, right, is extremely critical. And why imagination is more powerful than knowledge. And that's where you will make a difference. If you're too knowledgeable, but not imaginary or imagination is on a halt, then that's an issue. That's an issue. That's my opinion. So always imagine, always dream, always think about something that you cannot achieve, and stay focused in that dream. Analyze the dream. If any one of you is a dream catcher, do read about dream catching. It's very important to know yourself, your soul. Extremely critical for you to know about yourself. Read about a concept called past life realization, which is very critical to understand what the maturity of your soul is. The maturity of soul is nothing but that soul that you have inside you actually has resided on other lives too, or other lives too. It's not the first time the soul is within you. The soul is the only component within you which is the energy component. All others are biological component. So the soul has chosen you. You haven't chosen the soul. So I'm talking scientifically because the soul actually resides in stratosphere, and they have 7 cycles. 7 cycles. And in every cycle, the soul gets more mature. So the concept of past life realization and soul maturity is nothing but soul getting more mature. So some people in this class, some students in this class will be more mature than the others, right? Somebody will be less mature than others, but there's no inequality, of course. But try to understand your soul. So Dalai Lama has a soul realization of 10 out of 10, which means that his soul, when he passes away from the universe, would not come back to atmosphere. It will be in stratosphere forever, and the energy will be basically will get diluted in the stratosphere sector. So that's called past life realization. You should study about this. And why it is connected to imagination, I will also connect, is because once you know about yourself and your strengths and weaknesses, You can stretch yourself. Otherwise, you can't stretch yourself. So read a book by Michelle Obama. It's called Becoming. Read that book. It's a very important book for you to read. Um, Follow her in Instagram or wherever you are in Facebook, right? So once you know yourself, you will see that you are doing much better. The clarity of thought is unimaginable, right? And you can imagine much more better, and then you will perform better than others, because imagination gives you a power to crack a math or crack a code or crack a problematic statement coming from your parents and be more creative to answer him or her back, your mom or dad back, and really manage to do something different than your mom and dad want you to do. So just listen to yourself. That's very important. So focus on imagination. Also focus on knowledge. You have to study, but definitely focus on imagination. That's something that I will highly recommend. And it is appreciate your emotions, and be honest to yourself. You don't have to be honest to everybody, but just be honest to yourself. You cannot be honest to everybody. You can't be. You will lie. I know that I have lied in life. So just build yourself in 4 pillars, which is, one is definitely respect, which should be not non-negotiable. Second is, of course, trust. There should be some basic trust, right? Even if you're cheating in class, you should trust that person whom you're cheating from. I used to do that, right? So I couldn't graduate and become an engineer unless I had to cheat from somebody else in some exams, because I didn't study at all. I was all in love with music, and I was doing fests all across India, traveling to all colleges. So trust is important, right? The third piece is honesty, which is to yourself. And fourth is unconditional love, right? Love should be unconditional. The fast you realize, the fast you get success. Success doesn't mean that you graduate and then you join Amplo Global Inc., or that's our company, Amplo Global Inc., or you join IBM. Of course, that's a fact, because you have to earn as well. But unconditional love is extremely important. I will give you a food for thought today. So to me, when my mom says, I have various names. So from when I was in Kolkata in St. Lawrence, I used to hear a lot of hard rock metals. And my dad used to call me Andy. From Anirban, it's Andy. In the US, one day I signed off as Andy. And one of my American friends said, or colleague rather, said, wow, you have become Americanized. So everybody calls you Andy. I said, no, my dad used to call Andy because I used to hear a lot of hard rock. He threw me out of the house. And I always have a pseudo American nature. But I never thought of coming to the US. I failed in love and came to the US. I answered that back to the guy. And he was looking at me and said, oh, you never had a cultural shock when you came to the US? I said, no, I never had a cultural shock when I came to the US. So, so all in all, it is very important to have unconditional love. So when my mom says, Andy, I love you, I feel very pressurized, because I know that mom is, some condition is there because I am born in her womb, right? So try to love somebody where there is no blood connection. I'm not talking boyfriend or girlfriend at all. Somebody like maybe a kid on street, or maybe somebody that, which is totally unconditional, right? Where you don't need somebody from the other person, right? So those pillars are very important. And how all these 4 pillars become more stronger when you leave knowledge aside and focus on knowing yourself, imagining yourself as a winner, or a loser, right? Um, so that's very important. That so you contribute to yourself in imagination, work on your knowledge, combine those two as a power, and create unconditional love within yourself. You should try to keep pets at home. I haven't one, but I used to have one, but I was traveling heavy and I had to give up. So that unconditional love is important, right? A dog at home is unconditional. So she doesn't know, when I used to come home, she always knows that Andy is back home and he will feed me, and she would bring like a dog bone to me and a ball to me and said, you have to play with me now. And I used to throw the ball exactly the same place in my living room every day. When I came back, she did not have any other expectation that you have to take me to a park, or every day to that sofa set, she will go grab the ball and bring back every day, because she has no other conditioning or expectation from me. And she would eat. After that, I will eat, and then we'll both go to sleep, right? So then she left me, and those are the days, right? So that unconditional love is very, very important, and it all comes from imagination, and that's imagination is extremely critical in life. Otherwise, becoming a good human being will be a showstopper. You will not become a better human being than what you are today. So that's my second thing I learned in my life, right? With a dog, with love, and with many things in life. And the third thing that I will talk about is never giving up. So if somebody tells you that, if somebody suppose you're liking somebody, and the other person said, no, I don't like you. That's okay. That's okay. Be calm. But that's not, you're not giving up, that why he or she is not liking you, where is the issue, or should you give that energy or not in that relationship or this conversation, or you're failing in an exam, you're not liking the paper. um, you have to figure out something, because you have to graduate, you have to get a job. um, so that power of never giving up is extremely critical, right? um, I'm not a big I mean, I used to I mean, I still follow some of the Bollywood or Tollywood uh, play, I would say, the actresses and actors. So I don't know what's. I'm reading about this whole episode of Sushant Singh Rajput, right? If I'm if I'm stating his name, and that's his name. Um I'm very disappointed about his last dance. I know what happened. I don't know what happened, but I only know that he did not need to do that thing, right? What he did, but even in 30 seconds when he gave up, I did not like it, right? But I don't know. I can't even measure what happened at that 30 seconds in his head, right? So that's too much of a drama, right? And that has really made me upset. But what made me more humbled was Irfan Khan's death. I don't know if you have read the obituary that he has written a couple of years back when he was in the hospital. The humility the way he had written that obituary, I will highly, highly recommend you to read this. Read his Irfan Khan's last statement. When he talks about floating in the water, like in buoyancy we have studied, and how that disease has made him humble and made him satisfied in life. It doesn't mean he gave up, right? He came back, he did the movie, I think English Medium, I think that's the name of the movie, or Angrezi Medium, something like that. Um, and that note was unbelievable, right? It was unbelievable what he wrote. I'm no, I'm not Irfan Khan, of course, but I was also about to die. So I had a disease um, in January this year. It's called sepsis, sepsis, sepsis. It's a blood. It's a it's a blood infection. So what it happens is a bad bacteria gets into your blood and it attacks you badly and it affects your organ. So long story short, one day the doctor came in the hospital. I was hospitalized, and the doctor said that, you know what, Andy, um, it's a 50-50 chance you will make through because the bacteria that is in your blood has affected your liver. And I don't know how the bacteria came from into your blood. You never had a infection or a cut or a knee replacement or a hip replacement or anything, right? But you got sepsis. And I did not know how I got sepsis. Still today, by the way, 13th of August, 2020. So he said that you should let your parents know and your sister know that you have a 50-50 chance, right? So that night, uh, I mean, I'm just saying this, but you can believe me if you want to. And if you don't even feel this, just believe me for now, right? So I went to Strands, right? I seen as if I had so high fever. I was in sepsis shock. You can Google about it. Sepsis, SEPSIS, sepsis shock. Uh, I was in trance and I have seen the other side of life. And then when I came back, of course, some of the antibiotics worked. And I was back from the hospital, March, 2 months I was in the hospital. I was running my business from there. I have an amazing team who was running the business when I was in the hospital. Um, but I came back and I realized that um, death is inevitable. I mean, you cannot avoid death, right? But what you can avoid is um, to life is generally always comes second, right? Death is first because death is a champion. But when but being second, life has to be fearless. And when you are fearless, of course, you know the poem from Tagore, where the mind is without fear, right? When it's fearless, that where you will never give up. You will try and try and try. So when I left IBM a couple of years back and started Amplo Global Link, do follow us on LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, join LinkedIn. Um, it was it was an amazing experience to start entrepreneurship. So my dad, who I have a love and hate relationship with my dad. So he said to me, "Oh, fresh at 40." He used a code word in my ears. Fresh at 40. He started talking to me, by the way, when Priya left. So he said, "Oh, my boy will get settled in with a Bengali Brahmin, right?" So I couldn't meet my dad's dream. So, but um, so he said, "Oh, fresh at 40." So, but to do that, you need a lot of courage, right? You have a career, your salary is coming in, and you come out of IBM and you start this, right? So that fearlessness is extremely important. Never giving up is very important, and imagination beating the best is important. So I'll just leave it there for now, Sujata and team, and I can take any questions if you have. I don't know, I took more time than needed, or I don't know how much time was stipulated here, so I apologize. So Sujata, if you can, it's all yours. um, I can take any questions if you have. Anybody from the host side or co-host side, if you can open up for Q&A, or if you think that anybody there from the host side, anybody hosting this session, anybody there? How should I don't know how. Is anybody there from the whole host side? Okay, I'm going to write something here. So do visit Amplo Global Link, right? That's one. So do visit my, I will ask you to follow us in LinkedIn. That, let me see if I can do this while I'm waiting for the host to come back. So I will give you a link here. So is anybody there from the host side? Sujata, you there?
Yes, yes, I'm there. I'm there.
Yeah, I was just pinging everybody to follow us, and I'm just give the website, and you can follow me on Insta as well. That's my Insta ID. It's called CEO of Peace. Don't laugh, okay?
Sure, sure, sure.
And so you follow me on Insta, and I'm in Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn, so I will give you my profile as well. So yeah, you can follow me. So Sujata, I can take any questions, or I would love to get this recording, Sujata, whenever you have time. And I'm sorry, Sujata,
Yes.
if I've taken it longer than needed. I apologize for that.
No. It's okay. And we will send you the recording. Students, if you have any question, you can write it to the chat box so that Anirban can answer.
Yeah. So I sent the LinkedIn, my Insta ID, and you can look for me in the Instagram. It's called CEO of Peace, and the LinkedIn, and then yeah, you will get all the information from Amplo Global Link, and I will yeah, if you message me in LinkedIn, you will find me, and yeah, would love to stay in touch. Sujata, thank you so much. Seems like there's no questions.
Thank you so much, Anirban, and thank you so much for this beautiful expression talk. Thank you so much. Hope we will meet soon.
Thank you so much. And then yeah, you have my email. If you can send me the recording in email, that would be great.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much, team. Have a good Independence Day ahead.
Thank you. And students, you can join in your to the link of your next class. And thank you, Anirban. I'm ending the meeting for the right now. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Ending the
Bye-bye.
meeting. Okay. Bye-bye.